Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and take our seats and get started. And again, it is great. A day and a half, and there's still a lot of energy. I feel people chatting. I'm telling you, it's feeling like a family reunion here, doesn't it? Either that or it kind of reminds me of a wedding reception. We've got the tables, people are chatting, having a great time as they take their seats. We just had here a fantastic presentation on data analysis by Andre and Dustin. I understand Robin King just blew the roof off the basement training session, so it has been an exciting day. Before we head into our last substantive presentation, I've got some housekeeping things. During the presentation up here, there was a question of if I have to do data analysis, data presentation, are there reference materials? And yes, HUD-Learn, outside in the hallway, they have got some information. If you have, Michael Lawyer is walking by, he asked a question, so I know Mike wants to know this. We have reference materials out there for folks. Tomorrow, this is like supersized conference. It doesn't end today. We will have an all-hands meeting. Folks have been asking questions. The schedule, it will be here starting at 9 o'clock, and the agenda is we will have a speed mentoring session facilitated by Dr. Sheila Wright. Following that, we will have a presentation by Michael Lawyer on employee engagement. After that, we're going to have a really nice Ochiko Award ceremony led by Tawanda Brooks. And in the afternoon, there will be a series of team building activities. And some folks have said, Pete, whoa, team building, am I going to have to go out on the mall and climb ropes? Do I wear sneakers? No, so you can wear what you're wearing now. But the main thing is we will have the all-hands meeting here starting at 9. It will run to about 2:30 during the day. And I can give folks the breakdown of the agenda. Actually, it's right here. But again, speed mentoring, competency building, employee engagement, awards, lunch, and team building activities. The next thing I have is we're going to, real quick, the photographer has been here. I understand Human Capital Services. There's a desire you all are going to have a photo as a group. So when we're done with today's festivities, if you would look for our photographer over there and get that giant picture taken. We're going to be talking a little bit about employee engagement next. And again, I say this is the supersized conference. Immediately after that, kind of building on it, we're going to have Tawanda share a few thoughts about Ochiko's employee viewpoint survey results. And so it'll be great to hear her, and I think it's a nice cap off for the day. I struggle with this because sometimes we get burned out by hearing things. You hear the word, be mindful, eat kale. And we hear these things so often, we forget what they're about. Employee engagement. It's a word we hear about all the time, and automatically we think, yeah, EVS, survey, I've heard that. Employee engagement, yes, I know. It's a really important topic. And we're going to spend some time today with two fascinating ladies from OPM, Rachel St. John and Dr. Alexis Adam Shorter. Rachel is an HR specialist in OPM's Work-Life Leadership and Executive Developmental Team. She provides agencies with guidance on developing work-life programs. Now she and Alexis are working on employee engagement, but Rachel St. John, I looked at her bio, she's done everything. Website management, policy analysis, utilizing social media platforms. Alexis has served as a personal research psychologist in OPM's Assessment Services branch since 1999. She also comes out of OPM's Work, Life, Leadership, and Executive Developmental Office. Both of them now have switched their focus to employee engagement and working with agencies. And I said to them, we had a question earlier today about work-life balance, which is a lot of what they do, and great to have them back in another session on that. But today we're really going to focus on the broader idea of employee engagement, cultural change, what OPM is doing, and some of the tips for agencies like HUD. So I will turn it over to Rachel and Alexis.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having us today. And just to clarify, I think it's safe for me to speak for Rachel too. Our first love is still with work life. We feel honored that we've been asked to support agencies as they are developing their engagement efforts and rolling them out across the government. It's given us a really unique perspective, but we certainly do still work very actively on a daily basis in supporting agencies around their work-life programs. And the nice thing is that work-life is one of the key drivers to engagement, so there's certainly a relationship there that makes sense for us. So we've been excited to do this work. So thank you for having us. I wanted to just start by sharing OPM's definition of engagement, because as we heard, I'm sure you're very familiar with hearing about employee engagement. It's sort of been like a flavor of the month, if you will, in terms of this is what we're going to work on now. But it really has a very meaningful purpose, and OPM worked hard to craft a definition around engagement so that it would bring meaning for our government-wide workforce in terms of what we're talking about when we're focusing on improving employee engagement. And the OPM definition is, employee engagement is the employee's sense of purpose that is evident in their display of dedication, persistence, and effort in their work, or overall attachment to their organization and its mission. The one part of this definition that I really like is the employee's sense of purpose. And what's particularly important from my perspective is that employees feel a sense of value and also feel valued when they show up to work every day. The focus for agencies, therefore, is to implement and foster conditions that lead to an increase in engagement and ultimately impact key organizational drivers of success. So we're going to be talking about a lot of drivers that contribute to engagement today. There are multiple roads or drivers, if you will, that contribute to an employee's sense of purpose at work. GAO, for example, has identified 6 drivers of engagement. Included are constructive performance conversations, career development and training, and work-life balance. All 6 drivers will be discussed later in this presentation. Of course, my particular interest is work-life. And in addition to GAO's research around drivers of engagement, OPM has also recently taken on the responsibility of doing extensive work around drivers that contribute to employee engagement, and I'll be talking about that a little bit later as well. Also, just wanted to point out the distinction between motivation and engagement. Motivation and engagement are actually 2 different things. Motivation is frequently the driving force behind reward systems, for example, money or public recognition. Engagement is different in that it's less subject to external rewards. We're talking about intrinsic motivation. It's fed by perceptions of value, personal and professional, and the context of the work environment. Critical outcomes have been identified. There have been studies by MSPB and GAO, and they concur that lower sick leave results, for example, in addition, return on investment for lower grievances filed, lower on-the-job accidents, lower EEO complaints, for example, results at agencies where there are higher engagement scores. So in a nutshell, when employees feel engaged at work, they may choose to stay longer with that organization, work harder while they are there, and feel led to recommend their place of work to others. So this is truly an important area of focus. Okay, great. So this is just a graphic to display some of what we're talking about today, and it's one that you may be familiar with. And the components of alignment, belonging, and growth are all important factors when we're talking about engagement. Belonging certainly does produce a sense of pride, and I'm sure you all can identify with that in your experience. If you feel that you belong in your work environment every day, it really does lead you to feeling proud about where you work. Alignment produces understanding between employee capacity and organizational mission. And there are a number of individuals, a number of factors that play into the process of an employee understanding how their employee capacity actually contributes to the overall organizational mission. And growth produces a sense of being supported and that employees are worthy, they feel worthy of investment by their employer. All of these factors lead toward commitment. So I want to talk a little bit about what we have been involved in at OPM in terms of reaching out and giving support to agencies government-wide as they've been focusing on employee engagement. And this brings in what Rachel and I have been involved in for the last year, and for me a little bit longer. We've been involved in coordinating and managing a series of events specifically focused for senior accountable officials. Each agency has a senior accountable official that has been appointed to be responsible for overseeing and managing the efforts around improving employee engagement for that particular work environment. And the meetings that we've been holding with the SAOs over the last year have allowed those members to develop and maintain a dialogue around promising practices on how engagement can be improved, how data and metrics can be used for assessment purposes, and we were just talking about that in the previous presentation, and how effective engagement strategies can be designed. The SAOs have benefited from learning from one another and learning from private sector experts as well, from companies such as Lockheed Martin, Kaiser Permanente, and Southwest Airlines. The hope with these forums that we're holding with agency senior accountable officials is that they will be motivated by hearing from one another and bring that sense of motivation back to their home environment as they continue to work with their workforce on improving employee engagement. Last year, the SAOs broke into 4 subgroups at the beginning of the summer last year, and they each took the responsibility of diving deeply into an engagement-related area, a specific area related to engagement that they consider to be a critical area. There was a supporting frontline supervisors group, a communicating engagement group, a leadership development and accountability group, and a group focused on the strategic use of data. Each group gathered best practices in their focus area and prepared a final report. If you're interested in taking a look at that report, it has been posted on the Unlock Talent Community of Practice site, and Rachel's going to give you a little bit more information about that during her presentation, that site. Of particular interest to me from those work groups, one of the work groups that focused on the frontline supervisors discussed in their report the importance of effective communication and feedback with staff, and we all know how critical and important that is. The importance of including supervisors in major change initiatives within an agency, and the enhancement of recognition programs for staff. So those are just a few of the examples of some of the best practices that came out of that focused work that was done by the work groups last summer. We are currently continuing to hold meetings with the SAOs, and the meetings that we're holding with them currently are allowing them to focus on the importance of increasing the Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey response rate, strategy behind rolling out FEVS results, and using the information gained to create effective engagement-related plans. So we've talked a little bit already about the Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey, and I know that you're all very familiar with this assessment. More than 400,000 employees from 82 federal agencies participated in the 2015 FEVS. The survey measured, among other things, employee engagement, showing a slight increase in employee engagement and job satisfaction. So there is a portion of the EVS that has been named the Employee Engagement Index, and it is divided into 3 sub-factors, as you can see up on the slide: leaders lead, supervisor, and intrinsic work experience. And I just highlighted supervisor there because supervisors do play such an important role. They truly are the linchpin when we're talking about improving employee engagement. So the EVS provides a meaningful way for agency leaders to evaluate their engagement efforts. Ideally, the EVS is not your last stop. It's a platform. It's a platform that allows agencies and work groups to, and hopefully employee work groups will be included in that, to launch toward effective and strategic action. So what we like to encourage at OPM is that you take time to explore the data that comes from the EVS, to understand it, to get a sense of the story that it tells, and in this case around employee engagement, and use it as a basis to form effective action that will follow. Current assistance, as I mentioned, that we are providing through the SAOs is allowing agencies to be better prepared for the next administration of the EVS, which is coming up very, very shortly. So this is just an additional slide talking about the Employee Engagement Index. And you can see the items that fall under that or that make up that index. And you can see very quickly that the supervisor is highlighted in almost all of the items. Again, they play a very important role. And these items all contribute to an employee's sense of trust and value. A lot of times people think about these concepts of employee trust and value as soft or squishy concepts. But truly, at the end of the day, they have an impact on an organization's bottom line, and they need to be considered as very important critical factors. So I mentioned before that we like to encourage agencies not to stop with what they've learned from the EVS, but to actually take what they've learned and use it to propel them toward effective action. And one of the things that we do to help agencies get closer to that is we provide support in the area of action planning. And really, the more time goes by, the more years that go by since I've been working on this, I've been seeing that agencies are requiring less and less support from us because they truly are doing this internally in-house on their own, and that's really wonderful to see. And I've been seeing over the last year since we've been working with the SAOs that they also really understand the importance of action planning both at the agency level and at the lower levels of sub-organizations or subgroups, and really using both levels of action planning to inform important decisions that need to be made for the agency. Internal engagement efforts are definitely more likely to be successful if employee feedback gained from the EVS is used to make positive workplace changes, and if this feedback can be integrated into an effective plan. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about action planning. Taking the time out to action plan, and it does take time, just like we were talking about data exploration takes time, effective action planning takes time, but it's a worthy investment. It allows you to understand your environment more thoroughly. It allows you to communicate and prioritize your efforts, and it allows you to map out a strategy. It's a roadmap for you so that you won't be working in a piecemeal fashion. And just because you take the time to develop an action plan does not mean that you are bound to every single detail that you have documented in that plan. Our encouragement is that it would be a continuous plan, that you can revisit and tweak and revise if you see that your original action steps that you've included in the plan are not unfolding as you intended, or if they are not meeting the needs of your workforce. You can revisit that plan based on feedback that you've received from employees and tweak it and revise it appropriately. One of the things that I love about action planning is that it does allow different people to come to the table, people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, and to work toward a common understanding. One of the ways that you reach a common understanding is through prioritizing. What is most important for our environment right now around employee engagement? What is most relevant? What are our employees telling us from the EVS that we need to pay attention to? And then to identify potential action steps. Once action steps have been identified, potential action steps have been identified, there's some questions to ask. Is this area of change relevant right now, or is it something that can wait? Is it feasible? Can we really address this, or are there too many boundaries right now and we need to focus on something else? Is it under our control? What are the potential benefits? Will this truly add value for our workforce? So these are the kinds of questions that you want to ask when you are developing an action plan around engagement or anything else for that matter. And so what you're looking for is strategic alignment across your action plan in terms of the who, what, when, and how of each focus area will be involved to make sure your action steps are successful. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what we've been learning as we've been working with the SAOs over the last year and a half and doing our own work and educating ourselves at OPM about what agencies are doing around employee engagement, some of which allows opportunities for other agencies to get involved and some of which allows opportunities for agencies to learn from one another. One example is the PIC Modern Government Management Traits project. The Performance Improvement Council, composed of performance improvement officers for federal agencies and departments who work to improve the business performance of federal agencies came together to develop a report entitled Strengthening Federal Managers Through Action. It described the Modern Government Management Traits Pilot Program, which identified and ranked 8 specific traits that were displayed in effective managers. The pilot program is a 16-week webinar-based program that presents tools that are meant to assist managers in taking very simple, practical actions and steps to improve their managerial skills. It's a low-cost option for managers and one that we're pretty excited about and greatly would encourage agencies to consider when they're thinking about developing their managers, which would hopefully lead to all of their efforts around increasing employee engagement. Another resource that we're pretty excited about is a toolkit that the Department of Commerce has developed and targeted around employee engagement. It's a collection of tools to improve employee engagement, and it includes tools that specifically affect the drivers of employee engagement scores in the EVS. The toolkit is used for the examination of EVS results for the top questions that are leading indicators of employee engagement to determine where a work group or an agency is scoring low and what tools you can use to apply to deal with your relevant focus area. The toolkit covers critical actions related to engagement, such as enhancing two-way communication, connecting employees to mission, empowering employees, creating an inclusive work environment, and fostering work-life balance. Yay. The tools are practical and very, very easy to digest. So all of the resources that I'm mentioning today, there are many, many, many resources government-wide out there, but the ones that I chose to share with you today are ones that stood out to me to be very practical and very easy to use. And when you're given the charge of, okay, go and improve employee engagement in your work group, and you may want to create an action plan around it, and then you need to do it in a short period of time, you might be like, but there are tools available that other agencies have created that you can use to help you in your process. And I know that, I'm kind of preaching to the choir because I know that HUD has already developed a lot of innovative ways to respond to their EVS results that I'm excited about as well. So you're really an example for yourselves. But if you're looking for examples outside of yourselves, there are others that can be considered. Okay, we're going to stay on this slide. In addition, GAO recently conducted a regression analysis of selected EVS questions and identified 6 practices which are key drivers to the Employee Engagement Index, with constructive performance conversations being the strongest driver. Constructive performance conversations. And we could have a whole other talk on those constructive conversations between employees and their managers, but they identified that as the strongest driver of employee engagement. The other drivers found are career development and training, work-life balance, inclusive work environment, employee involvement, and communication from management. The GAO report describes trends in employee engagement from 2006 through 2014. It identifies practices in improving employee engagement and evaluates OPM's tools and resources to support employee engagement. GAO actually analyzed responses from the EVS between 2006 and 2014, and they conducted this very extensive regression analysis. They reviewed a number of OPM documents and interviewed a number of OPM officials in preparation for their report. So it is one that we like to share with agencies. But in addition to this research on drivers related to employee engagement, I'm excited to mention that OPM has conducted their own research on drivers, and they also conducted a key driver analysis using FEVS questions to identify and better understand what drives and sustains employee engagement. 5 key drivers were identified and are the same across generations: supervisory status, military status, agency tenure, telework status, and those in mission-critical occupations. And the drivers identified by OPM are performance feedback, collaborative management, merit system principles, employee training and development, and work-life balance. So as you can see, employee engagement has a lot of really critical aspects. It's one big umbrella, but there are a lot of key critical ingredients that lead toward effective improvement of employee engagement that need to be considered. A couple of other resources that you may want to consult. In 2008 and 2012, MSPB released 2 useful reports, one entitled The Power of Federal Employee Engagement and the other entitled Federal Employee Engagement, The Motivating Potential of Job Characteristics and Rewards. These are 2 excellent resources to further explore how engagement relates to the federal workforce and how employee engagement can be encouraged in a federal workforce. Just a few agency examples. Again, HUD is a shining example in and of itself. A few other agency examples that I wanted to share. Department of Education is one that we've highlighted recently. At Education, there's a push toward actively involving the components of action planning. There's a push toward being proactive in developing an extensive, what they have referred to as a placemat or best practice roadmap around engagement. And the ED placemat has been shared on the Unlock Talent Community of Practice page. And again, Rachel will talk about that in a second, so you can hop on there and take a look at it. The map encompasses 6 areas of focus, including communications and fostering a positive work environment. It also outlines best practices to be taken by 5 levels of responsible parties, ranging from the level of the secretary on down to employees in relation to each focus area. So this resource is nice because it shows that improving employee engagement is not just the job of upper level leaders. It's an initiative that the entire agency can embrace, and every level of the agency can play a role and become involved. The Department of State is an excellent example of that. They have decided to take on work-life initiatives for their focus on improving employee engagement in their workforce, and they have actively involved senior leadership, employee affinity groups, and their unions. Strategic partnerships across the agency were formed, and marketing campaigns, extensive marketing campaigns were developed. And some of the progressive outcomes that they experienced by this action, or these actions, were they instituted a backup dependent care program, which is something that Rachel and I, when we hear something like that, that's work-life related and that we don't see government-wide, we get really excited when we hear that, because we know that parents are struggling and sometimes they need that backup care, and if they can go to work knowing that they've gotten effective backup care when they need it, they can be more engaged in the work that they do because they're not worried about their kids. And so we get excited when we hear about stuff like that. They opened up new lactation rooms and they set up a leave bank. So these are some exciting outcomes that they experienced by taking on work-life in relation to improving employee engagement in their environment. USDA is another agency that's been very proactive. Standards have been established to be integrated into all non-SES official supervisors' performance plans to ensure that supervisors actively create an environment that promotes staff engagement, integration, and collaboration. And also engagement champions have been identified across the agency at USDA. So these are just some examples of what agencies are doing to take improving employee engagement very seriously. One additional resource I'll mention before moving on to the next slide is OPM's white paper. OPM has created a white paper, and it is entitled Engaging the Federal Workforce, How to Do It and Prove It. And again, you can take a look at that white paper on the Community of Practice at the unlocktalent.gov site. And so that brings me to the end of my portion of the presentation. I know I shared a lot of resources there at the end. If you have any questions about how to gain access to those resources, you can certainly contact us and we'll be happy to help you out. I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague, Rachel.
I'm very excited today to get to spend a few minutes talking about unlocktalent.gov. Each of you really has the ability to impact engagement in your agency. And I know that as HR professionals, you have lots of tools in your toolkit but I hope that you'll see Unlock Talent will be one that will be useful for you and that you'll also want to share with others. One thing that I heard from the last presentation was that you're getting a lot of requests for data reports. So this is a tool that you could train employees and managers on so that they could start to look at some of this information themselves. So first, by a raise of hands, how many of you have heard of Unlock Talent before? Okay. I know Kimya was here yesterday, so that may have helped a little bit. How many of you have been on the website? Okay, great. So it seems like lots of you, this will be a nice introduction, and for some of you that have been on the site before, hopefully I'll be able to share some new information that you'll be able to get from the tool. We really believe that employee engagement is a leading indicator of performance and should be a focus at all levels of the agency, from the agency head to an individual employee. So that's why Unlock Talent is open to all employees within the federal government. So it's not just SES or select POCs within your agency that can go in and see this data and information. It's available to everyone. And it's an interactive tool. Let me see if I need to switch. Yep. An interactive tool that's designed to help agencies to make data-driven decisions to create a culture of engagement. And if you're a data nerd, you will love Unlock Talent. If you are not a data nerd, you may fall in love with it because it makes the information very easy to understand, and it will help you to start the conversation with your employees and managers. So agencies are really encouraged to use this tool to better understand their workforce through data and to create more effective engagement programs. So a little bit of background. Alexis touched on this a little bit, but employee engagement for the past few years has been a central focus government-wide. And it's been recognized in the private sector, in government agencies, and also among researchers. And it's also been highlighted in the people and culture pillar of the President's management agenda. So in the PMA, it's expressed that there's a need to unlock the talent of today's workforce in order to build the workforce that meets the needs of our future. And so that's where this catchy phrase came from. We're trying to unlock the talent that we already have in our workforce. And we know that a high-performing government really requires an engaged, well-prepared, and well-trained workforce. So before this tool was built, agencies had access to data in multiple different places. And your demographic information was over here, and your EVS results were over here, and you were looking at them, trying to put them together yourselves, and it was really starting to tell an incomplete story. So Unlock Talent brings that all together. And the information that's used in Unlock Talent is populated from two different data sources. It's the EHRI, which is the Enterprise HR Integration Data Warehouse, and that includes all of our payroll, training, demographic, HR information for federal executive employees. And then it also gets data from the Employee Viewpoint Survey, which I'm sure that you are all very familiar with and getting ready in your agency to roll out very soon. So Alexis touched on this a little bit, but I just want to reiterate a little bit more about the index that's on the EVS for employee engagement, because it is a central part of unlocktalent.gov. So on the index, we measure three different things. We're looking at leaders lead, supervisors, and intrinsic work experience. So leaders lead are asking questions about, the perceptions of integrity of leadership from employees. So an example of one of the questions in that area is, I have a high level of respect for my organization's senior leaders. For the supervisor section, we're looking at things about the relationship between the employee and the supervisor. Is there trust there? Is there respect there? Do employees feel supported by their supervisor? And a question in that area is, I have trust and confidence in my supervisor. And then the last section is intrinsic work experience. And here we're really looking at feelings of motivation. And one example is just that, are my talents used well in the workplace? So those are our 3 sections. We're looking at leaders lead, supervisors, and the intrinsic work experience. So by a raise of hand, we're going to go through each one. Who thinks that overall government-wide we score best in leaders lead? Okay, that is not a popular option. Okay, maybe you guys probably been paying attention then. Supervisors. Okay, so a few hands. Or the intrinsic work experience. Okay, a few more there. So it's actually government-wide. We score best in the supervisors section at 71% in the index. Following close behind is the intrinsic work experience. And then last but not least is leaders lead. And we'll take a look at that data a little bit more closely in a minute. So these are just a few milestones of Unlock Talent that I wanted to share with you all. Currently, and this number is always growing, there are 13,000 people that are registered for the website, and they're representing 85 different federal agencies. It also got a shout out when President Obama was addressing the Senior Executive Service, and there's a YouTube video that you can watch on your own leisure. But really, we're trying to expand the use of this, so we encourage all of you, if you think that this tool will be of use to you, to register and to share it with employees as well. As Alexis mentioned, there's also a community of practice page to the website that I'll demo today, and that includes tools to create strategies that lead to inclusive work environment. And I'll touch on what's available on the COP already, and then some of the future features we're going to be rolling out this year to make the site a little bit more interactive. So with that, and the help of my wonderful people over here, we will go on to the live website and take a look at unlocktalent.gov. Okay, so when you first come on, this is what the website is going to look like, and it just gives you a little overview. And if we scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see your engagement score for your agency, where you rank, and the number of employees you have. So I should note here that I'm giving you a glimpse into OPM's engagement scores. When you log into unlocktalent.gov, you have access to your agency's data. So HUD employees will only be able to see data that's relevant to HUD, and you will only be able to see data that drill down to a group level where 10 or more employees responded to. So this is OPM's data. You'll get a little sneak peek. So we scroll down a little bit further, and there's a map here that shares demographic information about our employees. So if we click on one of the states, so if we click on California, we can actually see how many employees and their age breakup OPM has in that state. And then there's also ways that you can look at different groups. So if we go right to the all groups, and then, okay, yeah, that's actually perfect. We can change to retirement eligibility. Okay, perfect. And then if we scroll down a little bit for retirement eligibility, and we look at the map, we can see, if we click on DC real quick, we'll be able to see, it may just be taking a minute to load. So it'll show you what percentage of people are retirement eligible within that area. Maybe we can scroll back up just a little bit more. Okay. Okay. And then maybe try clicking on Texas real quick. Click off that. Okay. It looks like it's having a little bit of trouble. But earlier, when I looked at this, it was for Texas. What was interesting when I looked at OPM's information with retirement eligibility, it actually showed that they were at about 45% of their Texan employees were eligible to retire. So that would be something that you would want to be aware of and to notice. If there are certain areas where your employee population has that type of demographic. Also in California, I thought it was interesting, they only had 1% of their population that was under the age of 29. And so that may be something if you're trying to recruit and retain millennials, you may want to look at that and create a benchmark across your entire country and agency. So we'll scroll down a little bit more. This portion of the website actually shows you your engagement index scores for the past few years, so you can see the trends that have taken place, if you've improved or if there was a decline in different years. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, we'll actually click under employee engagement where it says view. And this is where we get to see a little bit more information about your employee engagement scores for your agency. So if we scroll down slightly. Okay. Can we scroll all the way back to the top really quick? Sorry. Okay, could we actually click log in and then use the login information. So one thing it will also do apparently is if you are static on the website for a little bit, it will automatically log you out. So that may be why we couldn't see some of that data a minute ago. So we'll get back logged in. Okay, great. And if we just click on the top right on employee engagement. And so when we scroll down here at first, it's going to start to show you the results for the employee index for OPM. And so here you can see for each of those three categories how we scored, and then below you'll see the government-wide average for those three areas as well. And if you scroll down a little bit further, it starts to show you the components of OPM. So before we were looking at government-wide data, then we were looking at OPM as an agency, and now we're at the subcomponent level within OPM. And you get a breakdown once again of these three factors of the employee engagement index. So this would be a good place to help you identify which areas of your organization are doing really well, to dive into maybe what practices they're instituting that you could share across the agency, maybe some subcomponents that you could show a little bit more attention to, and it would also tell you, exactly which areas your employees feel that there's a need to work on, whether it's, supervisor training, or they need something along the lines of intrinsic work experience and more communication with leaders. So this gives you a place to start the conversation. And another thing I think is really important to stress in this segment is that, green is better than government average and the red is below government average. I wouldn't get too held up on that because every agency has a need to improve. So even if you are green, chances are you're not at 100%. So, and chances are there's subcomponents or places where you could continue to improve. Also, in places where people are green, many agencies are taking this on as a priority, and so the average is going to only continue to get higher. So if you stay 1% above the government-wide average, eventually you will fall below that as well. But if you just hover over one of those bars there, it actually gives you if we hover on one of the green bars below, it'll tell you the exact percentages. So you can see the exact percentages for each one of those subgroups. And then if we scroll back up again to the top of this page, And for select components, so this is where you can go down one more level within your organization. So we'll just go to employee services, the first one on that list. And it'll load the data for the Employee Engagement Index for the subcomponent. So now, we were government-wide, we're at OPM, now we're at EBS, and it's going to show us, ES, and now it's going to show us the results for the groups that have more than 10 people respond to within employee services. And so again, it's going to show you how you scored compared to your agency and government-wide. But then if you scroll down a little bit further, it's going to give you some more information, again, breaking down to these areas, subcomponent levels. And then if we could scroll up just a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit more. We're going to look at the results by demographic. So again, this is where Unlock Talent starts to pull that entire story together a little bit more. So if we scroll down here, the default is on age. And we will look at the results by age. And so I think that this is where just sort of generalizations about things may not tell you the right story, but the data that you get from your employees responding to the survey can tell you more. And so in this case, one of the things that stood out to me is that intrinsic work experience is not something that out of, our typical age categories, we would assume is low for the 50 to 59-year-olds. But that is the area that seems to be the lowest in this section. So that would just be an interesting question or conversation to have with your employees about why this might exist. And that's the big part of this is data for you to start a conversation. We can't really assume anything about that. I don't know exactly why that's happening, but it's something interesting to look into. If we scroll up a little bit more, we can actually change from age to different demographics. So here we're going to look at intent to leave. And I think this may just make the case for engagement all by itself. So on the EVS, we ask people, are you planning on leaving the agency? And here you can see that our people that are not planning to leave the agency had very high engagement scores. They love their supervisor, they feel great about their leaders, they're having a great intrinsic work experience. The people that said, yes, I'm leaving to go to another agency, or I'm taking a job outside of the federal government, have a very low experience in those areas compared to it. So this really shows you that if you want to retain your people, you need to focus on these areas. They are drivers of retention and of recruitment in the federal government. And then we'll go up to that menu bar just one more time, and where intent to leave is, sorry. Okay. If we scroll down on the page, yeah, if you can choose employee services again. Yeah, this is perfect, right where it says intent to leave. Great. And if we choose pay levels, I think that this is an interesting story as well. When we scroll down a little bit, this will tell you what are the differences in the scores for your GS7s to 12s to your 13s to 15s. And you can see here that the GS7s and 12s are having a different experience than the 13s through 15s are. And I think that's really telling because we know our 13s, 15s are also making up our managers. And so when they're looking at this issue of employee engagement, they're seeing it through a very different lens than the rest of us are experiencing it in. And so it's just, something to look at and to also have a conversation about. And then last but not least, if we scroll all the way back up to the top, and we're going to click on Community of Practice. Alexis and I both have mentioned this a few times today, so I want to show you sort of what's available on the website right now. we've been adding resources on a regular basis. And so we're sharing things that agencies share with us. We're sharing things that OPM creates in-house as government-wide resources. So I really encourage you to get on this website and check back regularly to see what's coming. We've been posting something almost every 2 weeks at this point, and we imagine that that's only going to increase as more sharing increases. So, the first example here is that OPM released very recently a new online training for work-life programs in the federal government. It's something that's available to managers, HR professionals, and supervisors. And so this is a little bit of information about the training, and there's also links for it as well. If we scroll down a little bit further, you can see this is the Department of Commerce Employee Engagement Toolkit that Alexis mentioned. We also have a recent Cultivating of Culture webinar, which actually I believe that Tawanda presented at. So there's just lots of rich information on this website. We also plan to, in the future, make it more of an interactive tool. So we're going to be having a discussion board added to the website so that agencies can ask questions, ask for resources, start to have a dialogue about employee engagement. We're also going to be having a calendar of events available. We know that several agencies are putting on events that are open to other agencies to attend virtually. I know that HUD, you all do that quite a bit, where we can share the work that you're doing because it's applicable across the federal government. And so that calendar of events will allow for agencies to be able to see what's going on and to participate more in engagement events that are happening. So I think that's all I have for the demo. Thank you guys so much for helping me out with that. And I think we actually just have one more PowerPoint slide if we go back. So yeah, I know you guys thought you were done, but this is very quick. Essentially, this is data, it's information. We want you to start to have a conversation with it. It does absolutely no good to say, we got 65% engagement or we got 80% in engagement. That is quite frankly meaningless. What you need to do is have conversations with managers and employees in your organization about what the data says. So show them this tool, show them the results that are available, and say, rather than asking even the question to individual employees, have them as a group discuss, why was this score, do we think this score is this way? What are ways that we could change it or improve it in the future? And that's a really great way to begin the conversation in a non-threatening manner. So these are just a few more tools that we have available to reference. HRU, you're probably familiar with. There is a manager's corner on that website that has lots of training and resources. There's also a work-life studio that's available. Recently, OPM also put out a Maximizing Employee Engagement course. It only takes about 30 minutes, and it offers some really practical, quick tips for managers to use. And I think that is it. So thank you all.
Thank you. And Alexa and Kendra, we do have some tokens of appreciation for both of you. You can't leave without a little bit of swag. And thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And it was funny, again, they talked a couple times, hinted at the links between performance, management, engagement, and work-life balance. And whenever they mention that phrase, work-life balance, I saw people in the audience like, whoa, yeah. So I think, I'm looking at Tawanda, I think we'd like to invite these ladies back at some point, a brown bag or something, to talk a little bit about work-life balance. So I think we've reached the end of our substantive presentation. I think Tawanda Brooks, you have the option if you want to talk a little bit about EVIAS real quick, and then we'll be bringing our committee up to make their closing remarks. And just a quick note on the certificates, I apologize, some presenters haven't got theirs yet. It's just, oh, we have them. I'm a poor MC not being able to hand off everything. So I think what we will do in order is Tawanda will come up, we'll call up the presenters. She'll give some comments on EVS, and then we'll close it out. And you all have been just a great audience. You've stayed with us for 2 days. This has been exciting. So Tawanda, if you want to come up.
Thank you so much. I missed a part of the presentation because, of course, we had a couple of fires to put out, but I appreciate it. So I want to give out a couple of certificates. This has been a fantastic couple of days. I don't know about you, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the last couple of days. What about you? Have you had a good time? Yes. It's been refreshing. It's been educational. It's been wonderful to sit here with all of you and just listen to our colleagues, listen to other human capital professionals, listen to just, people talk about what they're passionate about, what they know, listen to the skills, the competencies, just listen to what people are just passionate about. So I'm very passionate about this work. I'm passionate about engagement, about human capital, and I'm passionate about working with all of you. And I say working with because that's what we're doing. We're working to build this organization, and we need each other. So I'm engaged. I'm here for you, and we're here for one another. And let's continue to work towards building a better HUD. We have an opportunity. Let's embrace it and let's move forward. So thank you. First, I would like to present this certificate of appreciation. We've had a fantastic Master of Ceremony. So I'd like to present this certificate to Peter Constantine. He's been a great facilitator. Andre Shelton, he was fantastic this afternoon, wasn't he? He did a great job with data. He's very passionate about it. So those of you who want to learn more, please reach out to him. Thank you so much for presenting this afternoon. No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dustin Harfman. Yeah. When Dustin said, he actually, when we were working on a project, we were trying to define OCHICO's role in fair and equitable. We were trying to define what has happened with Ceres and really define since 2002, what has happened with promotion since 2002. And Dustin provided promotions and what has occurred with this different series. And he brought this dashboard. I'm like, we actually have this information? And I'm like, what else can you do? And that's how we ended up where we are. So I'm very grateful. So thank you so much, Dustin. Thank you. So I actually missed quite a bit of Kendra's presentation, but I'm gonna have to get her to come to my office and give me a personal briefing. I went downstairs to see one of the other briefings with Jeffrey Vargas. So Kendra, could you come up? Thank you so much. Kendra's been fantastic, so thank you so much. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Okay. I'm not going to hold you very long, but I do really want to talk about the Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey. In 2014, we started looking at EVS. In December of 2014, we received the memorandum from OPM, OMB, and the White House. And started talking about, what we needed to do, and they asked all agencies to nominate an SAO. And at the time, Mike Anderson was our Chico, and so of course, he was the choice to be the SAO. And then he went on detail to OMB. So I became the acting Chico and then the SAO, and I didn't really know what that would mean, and jumped into the role and have been the SAO ever since. and have really defined the role for HUD and have really felt really passionate about the role, not only for HUD, but for Ochiko. So it's the HUD SAO role, but really I feel like it's a mini SAO role for Ochiko, and I feel passionate about what that means for Ochiko. And we had in 2014, I'm sorry, was it 2014? 2015, we looked at Ochiko's data and tried to figure out, well, what do we do for Ochiko for our engagement plan? And for the leadership aspect, for engagement, you have the leaders lead, the supervisors, and the employee intrinsic work experience. And our leaders lead data and the results were so incredibly disappointing that I personally felt impacted by it. And I hadn't been here that long, but I still personally felt impacted by it because the level of trust in the leadership in Ochiko was so low. And by office, you could really see that the employees didn't trust leadership. And various levels could have meant a lot of things. And you could read into it, but the level of trust was not there. And for me, trust is the most important thing. If you don't have trust in leadership, if you don't have trust in people, you can't do anything else. You can't trust in a process, you can't trust in the work that you do, you can't get anything done. You can't have a conversation and believe in that conversation. You can't get work done and believe in that work. You can't go to a customer and do something and believe in that. So getting something done, writing a policy, going on a trip and, recruiting or doing whatever you do, you can't believe in it. Well, how can you get work done and believe in it? How can you hire people and believe in it? How can you go to a HUD stat, HR stat, do any of this work and really believe in it? How can you manage over 200 people and believe in it? And how could you do an all hands meeting and hold your head up high? You couldn't. And I remember us doing all hands meetings and people's heads down, not one person speaking, the crowd, the all hands meetings here, I walked away thinking, oh my God, and not feeling good about it. And it was not a good environment, and just wanting to figure out what we could do. And over time, just thinking of things that we could do. And so we built an engagement plan, the first go around, on nothing but centered on the leadership and what we would do to get our leadership team in place and strong. And so that's what we did. We didn't really go out to the employees and ask you anything. We concentrated on strengthening our leadership cadre and talking to the leadership here and trying to figure out what we could do with our leadership to strengthen our leadership so that we could actually function, period. I'm just gonna say, so that we could function as a team, because really, we weren't talking a whole lot. We weren't functioning as a team. Individually, we might have been doing things to try to get the work done, and people were trying to get the work done. HR end to end, ELR was trying to do things. I was trying to do things with DE, trying to make sure our DE unit was functioning, trying to do things, we were all trying to get things done. But as a leadership team, feedback with employees and working as a unit, we weren't doing it. Sheila was doing great things in HUD Learn. People were doing great things, but as a cohesive team, we were not there. So people individually might have been great and fantastic, but if as a cohesive unit, we were not a cohesive unit. So we had to get ourselves together. Are we fantastic and wonderful right now? Not quite. But we are getting better. We speak better about one another. We are more cohesive, and let me just tell you why. We've tried. We're trying. We're trying to get along. We've been working at it much better. We've taken a lot of training. One of the trainings that we took was being a totally responsible person and realizing that we're responsible for our actions. We're responsible for the things that we say. I can't blame Felicia for something that I do. I can't blame Rick for something that I do. I cannot blame somebody 20 years ago for something that's happening right now. I cannot blame past leadership for something that's occurring right now. I have to take responsibility for the situation that is occurring right now. So let's get ourselves together in the moment right now. Let's be engaged in the moment, and let's take responsibility for the organization, and let's move forward right now. Let's get our engagement plans. Thank you. Let's get our operational plans together. Let's get our human capital strategic plan together. Let's get our succession plan together. Let's move forward on all of the things that are just sitting. And let's work together to get our employees what they need to get the job done. We can't fill all of our jobs, but let's get what we can and move forward on those things right now. So that's what we've been trying to do. We have done a lot in the last year, and you have stepped up for us. And I want to say thank you for stepping up and getting the job done. I know you're tired. I know you've been working your behinds off, and you've been doing that for us, and I would just want to say thank you for doing that. I am so incredibly grateful for that. And excuse me, I am grateful for that. I'm getting filled up because this right here means so much. I am grateful for that. I work 10, 12-hour days because of this. I'm so grateful. I don't know how, I didn't know that this would be as wonderful as it is. Andrea Hodge, I was in New York in February, and we were talking. I walked into the office with John Manos, where BB and John and Andrea sit, and they have such a beautiful view. And we were talking about the conference, and it was, just thinking about this. And there's a training that Andrea does, and she was talking about it. And I was thinking that, we've come a long way. We're not there, and some people still aren't happy with their current work situation, but we will get there because we're going to keep moving forward. And I think we're on the right track. And engagement is about thinking about one another. And I think about each of you every day in the situations that we're in. So I am very grateful. It's about trusting one another and building the trust. So if you see me not doing something that's right, calling me on it. If I see you doing something right, I will call you on it. If I see you doing something wonderful, giving you the praise. It's about that, and I'm all about that. And if there's something going on, that we praise one another, and we give each other the respect. Respect is at the utmost on my list, and we have to respect one another. Yeah. And I'm not an emotional person, so and that was I'm really not an emotional person, but I feel for this organization. I feel for HUD. I feel for this organization. So, and I am very grateful for how wonderful this event has gone, and for the team that put this together. Joe is the executive sponsor. Yeah, so. Yeah, and I would like, and we'll celebrate the team more, Robin and Juliet and the whole team. We'll celebrate them, everyone, tomorrow. We'll have them come up and celebrate them tomorrow, but I'm grateful for that. And I do want to say for the leadership team, I was going to go through this, but I don't think I need to. We can do that, but the leadership, we've done some additional training too. The team, we've had Ochiko discussions. We've gone through and actually had a couple of retreats where we've talked and had honest discussions. We're going to do some more too because there have been some conflicts. We've had major conflicts because of just different leadership style. And I think that's important to bump heads and if you don't agree on something, to have those conversations. And I think that's how you get through and have breakthroughs, because if you don't deal with those conflicts and they just linger, it doesn't work. So I think we've had some breakthroughs and dealing with those and moving forward. And that's, you hold each other accountable, and that accountability is important. We've dealt with performance issues. There have been lingering performance issues for a very long time, and I don't like not dealing with performance issues. That's a part of accountability. I want this to be a high-performing organization because we have a lot of work to do. This is a very busy organization, and if we're all performing, we can get a lot more done. We're going to fill positions. That's all very, very important. Engagement happens at all levels in the organization. As you can see from the 10 high-profile projects that we have, and a majority of you are participating in those projects, that gives you an opportunity to work amongst yourselves and and just working within your organization doesn't accomplish the mission of the offices. So the opportunities that you've had to work with one another, that's the engagement too. So it's not just engagement between you and your team, but it's the cross collaboration that's happening amongst you. That's what really makes things happen. So I've been reading a lot about engagement. If you haven't had the opportunity to get on the CEB website, please do that. You have access to a lot of resources. Corporate Executive Board's website is available to all of you. Start reading some of this material because you have access. A lot of it's very good information for you. Start building your competencies because you have the ability to do anything you want to do within Ochiko. There's a lot. This is all a part of the engagement. You have the access, you have the ability. Please, please make sure that you're utilizing it. This is a wonderful organization. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not. It's a wonderful organization. HUD's a wonderful organization. We're moving it up, and we're going to continue to move it up because it is a fantastic organization. We've had some open and honest discussions. We're going to continue to do those. I've been doing the Ochiko discussions. I'm going to continue. It's not going to stop. We're going to actually start to do more things with the Ochiko discussions. We just started to have discussions about career progression. One of the topics that came up is career progression and making sure that people have opportunities within Ochiko. So we're going to continue those. Within the Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey, OPM gives us reports. So there are reports available for every organization within HUD. So OPM has those reports. You can break them down for each organization, pretty much each organization within Ochiko. And then we have Corporate Executive Board provided a detailed report for Ochiko. And this report actually gives us information that's really useful. If you'd like a copy of the report, we can send it out to you. And I actually used this report to help design our leadership engagement. So this is where I decided to start having conversations with the managers and the leaders in the organization. So I'm going to extend the Ochiko discussions to smaller supervisor manager Ochiko discussions so that I can start to deal with some of the things that I've heard in the Ochiko discussion. So I can expand some of the things that I've heard so that we can really start to make sure that we're dealing with everything that's going on, and I can help the leaders even more so. So I want to make sure that we are dealing with issues and helping and making sure that things are happening the way that they need to happen. With that said, we want to be innovative. I can answer questions for you, but I know it's getting late in the afternoon. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything that I can do? We can have some listening sessions. Anything? Peter?
No, if anybody doesn't, but don't go quite yet.
Okay.
You gave a great thank you to this group, particularly the planning committee,
Yes.
and I think we've got a lovely conclusion. I'd like the
Okay.
conference planning committee to come forward, and I will
Ooh.
turn the remainder of today over to them.
Okay.
Stay
Nice.
right where you are.
Me?
Yes, this is about you. It's good. It's okay. She's trying. Don't let her leave.
Yeah, first, go ahead.
Okay. I have to say that planning this conference has been a very rewarding experience for us. And our first true objective was to find out what Tawanda's vision was. Once we found out what her vision was, we sought to really look at strategies where we could make sure that we were building coalitions with other agencies, that we were getting the best course content that we could find, and that we were enthusiastic about our work. We met once a week, every week, from the time that we got this project. We had our outstanding senior leader, Joe Smith, who was able, really? You have to get, because we're a group, and of course, as such, we were really tightly knit throughout the whole time. We were truly a team. And however, we came across many challenges. And as we came across those challenges, we had Joe, because Joe is a consummate problem solver. And we were able to get every challenge solved and move forward. Now, I don't want to leave without assuring that we include Dr. Sheila Wright. Dr. Wright, Dr. Wright, we met weekly. Dr. Wright met with us every 2 weeks. She wanted to find out where we were, what we needed to do, and how could she help. She was outstanding, and we never could have gotten this conference to where it is today without her support and without her innovative thinking. But in the final analysis, it really was for our Chico, because she's done so much for us, so much without us even knowing it, that she's done for us. And we really appreciated her, and we wanted to assure that she, her vision was carried out today and yesterday. Now, we had, when we first started, we divided into subcommittees. And those subcommittees were budget, which was Sharon Lacey. Sharon, can you come up and just, no? The next subcommittee was training. Now, please come up, Andrea, because we need you. That was Andrea's subcommittee, so Andrea?
Thank you. I'm not going to keep you long. It's been a long day. I do want to say that it's been a privilege working with you guys and putting this together. A few years ago, I sat in front of all of the senior execs, and I had to do a conference talk on cross-program collaboration, because they believed that everyone was still living in silos and we needed to blend. And then a few years later, I sat on the committee and worked on the project of headquarters and field communication, because again, there's this sense that there's not enough communication between the headquarters and the field. Well, I have to tell you, as a result of this project, logistically, this was not supposed to happen because I live and work in New York. However, the cross-program collaboration with my colleagues here in headquarters, there is a permanent bridge from Brooklyn, New York to the, to the headquarters field office, okay? This has been a labor of love because the vision was our leadership's. Tawanda Brooks is a phenomenal leader. We absolutely love and respect her because she's open, she's accessible. She's not one of those leaders that's caught up in, you know, the title and the role. She truly is a person that cares about us. And as a result, her care for us is reflected in everything that she says and does. This vision was hers. We just executed it. I just need you to know that. The piece that I really want to share with you, and I want to challenge you, but for the folks that got up on the stage for the first time in their lives and presented this information, they got comfortable with being uncomfortable. So for that, please give them a hand. And my challenge, I have a few challenges I'd like to share with you. I wasn't prepared at all for this, can you tell? I just threw this together. First of all, we are here from all over the world. And I challenge each of you to get up and go talk to someone that you don't know. You know, we can all sit at the table together because we know each other. But step out of your comfort zone and talk to someone that you don't know. Find out what they do. Get a little history on them. That's the first challenge. The second challenge is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you step out of your comfort zone and go talk to someone else, you're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. The third thing I want you to do is don't be the smartest person in the room. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're not stretching yourself. You're not learning anything. You're not challenging yourself. I mean, your ego gets stroked and stoked when you're the smartest person in the room, but that's where you stop. If you don't lift your lid, you can't lift anyone else's lid. Okay? For my colleagues, let me talk to you briefly about the law of attraction. What you put out, you get back. I'm sick of, I'm tired of, I can't. What you think is coming back to you? If you posture yourself in a position of gratitude and be grateful for those things that you do have, if nothing else around you changes, you change. We have to remove I can't from your vocabulary. Because if you say you can't and you think you can't, then you're right, you can. But if you say you can and you think you can, then you're right. Either way. Okay? For those of you, when you attempt to do something and it doesn't work out, perhaps it's not for you. You know, it's challenging when you want something really, really badly and it doesn't happen for you. But did you ever stop to think that perhaps there's something better waiting for you? So learn from this. When they say no, no means not right now. It doesn't mean no forever. Okay? Make your gratitude list, and remember, when one door closes, another opens, but you won't get through it if you're hanging out in the hallway. Okay, so go through the door. Okay? And I just want to say to you, it's been a privilege working with you guys. I absolutely love you guys, and everything that we did and went through, it was for you, so that you could have a good time here, so that we can come together, celebrate our leadership, and as such, we would like to present it. For those of you who haven't had the opportunity to sign this yet, this is for you, our leader.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
For you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I have the Sharpie here. If anyone who doesn't sign it. And I'd like to say one more thing. that my name is Andrea Hodge, and I'm proud to be an Ochico employee. Thank you.
Please turn in your evaluations. We need to let the folks know how they did.
Okay, the other members of our team, logistics. Everything you see here today is a part of logistics. From yesterday, today, it is a part of assuring that everything goes well, that everybody is in the right place, that we have our photographer, who is John Manos, by the way. Yes, can you turn around, John? He's our media subcommittee. Will you come up, Robin? Robin, thank you so very much. We really would not have been able to have this kind of conference without your knowledge, and we really do appreciate everything that you've done.
Okay, thank you. I wish I had, thank you. I wish I had good words to say like Andrea. I can't top that. I mean, she was just really great. But the one thing I do want to say is that I know for a fact each and every one of us had the same passion and the same desire to make our leader look well. Tawanda, I think she's a phenomenal person. I love the fact that she is not in the clouds. She's right down here with us. You know, I feel like that we all can talk to her, and because of that, that makes you want to do well for her. You know, give it 100%, and I think we all did. And I'm so thankful to have the team members that we had. Everything just worked together really well. And so I just want to leave for the next group. We set the bar, okay?
Well, I just like to, and finally, I just like to assure that we have everybody's name who's really been a part of this conference and making it the best conference ever. We really have enjoyed it. When you start out with it being the only one and the first, you really do have to have a vision maker. And as I said earlier, Tawanda was our vision maker. And I'd like to thank Joe Smith, Sharon Lacey, Andrea Hodge, Robin Johnson, John Manos, Bessie Williams, BB, Elisa Williams, Paula Lopez, Connie Lovato, Peter Constantine, and Jim Prouget. Thank you all very much. Now, to celebrate Tawanda and everything that she's done for us and all of her love and care for us, we feel it. We want to be able to do something to show her that we appreciate her, and what we've done is we have a cake outside for Tawanda, and we want to celebrate her. Thank you all so much.